Now by lawmaker Merav Michaeli from the Labor Party. Merav, thanks for joining me. I think, many people are asking, what is different now that GANTZ has the mandate? He's still facing the deadlock that Netanyahu faced. Do you see any openings?
I think it's too soon to tell, but certainly I think GANTZ has more options than Netanyahu had, as he potentially, at least, even theoretically, has the option for a minority government supported by the joint faction, something that Netanyahu did not have. Netanyahu exhausted his support in 55 mandates, and that is it. He could not get not a single mandate, not even one. In that context, one needs to point out, I think, that many really found it hard to believe that Labor will not join Netanyahu. And I constantly said that I have no doubt that Amir Peretz will keep his word and will keep his promise, our promise to the voters, not to give Netanyahu another government as far as it is up to us. And so now everybody, I think, it's become evident. And it's clear that this is Netanyahu's ceiling, these 55 mandates. GANTZ has a little bit more, I think, leverage and room to play with.
Well, I want to talk about that leverage, because some people say that this idea of a minority government supported by the Israeli parties is something really just on paper. Do you really believe that this is a true option, that the Israeli parties would join, and that, more importantly, also would GANTZ really welcome them?
Well, first of all, I think it's important that to notice that something is already taking place, and that is that the boycotting of sectors in Israeli society is fading away. It goes both for the ultra-Orthodox and for the Arab society. And it's very important to see that since Netanyahu is weakening, his power to do this kind of segregation and this delegitimization is really weakening with him. So I think, majority of Israelis and even people in politics would not have believed that we would be in a situation where the Joint List has actually recommended GANTZ with the exclusion of Balad, and that this would even be discussed. So I don't think it should be ruled out as a possibility, not at all. Even though GANTZ, and he says it and he acts on it, he prefers a wide sort of unity government. But right now it doesn't seem as if Netanyahu is inclined to allow it if he's not prime minister. And I hope GANTZ keeps his word and does not allow Netanyahu to remain prime minister, because he does not have the support for it.
It's important to say that even if there was this minority government, many people say it would be unstable and maybe wouldn't last too long. But moving on to another point, tonight, a very important meeting coming up between General Benny Gantz and the head of your party, the Labor Party, Amir Peretz. What is Amir Peretz going to put on the table? What does he want?
The first and foremost important thing for us is the change in policy. Labor promised to take care of the citizens of Israel, to do this major change that is so deeply required and needed for the majority of Israelis, that they will be taken care of as far as health, as far as welfare, as far as education goes. These are the most fundamental things that are important for us. And this is what we're going to talk about. The guidelines of the government that will promise a different policy for Israel. And I have to tell you that if that happens and GANTZ really manages to form a government that brings real change to the lives of Israelis and to the state of Israel, there's no reason it should not be stable, even if it is a narrow or a minority government. We have known minority and small governments to survive because they were so, potentially unstable. So they stuck together. And I think if such a government really brings hope to the state of Israel, it can be stable.
Well, we're going to leave it there. Merav Michaeli, thank you so much for joining us here on I24 News.
Thank you for having me.
Jeff